Nintendo, one of the biggest anti-consumer companies in the video game industry, constantly suing people for infringing on copyright by trying to keep alive games and franchises that Nintendo has completely forgotten about, taking down passionate fan games about Nintendo properties, and yet Nintendo is still incredibly beloved compared to other anti-consumer companies within the video game industry like EA or Activision, simply because Nintendo puts out amazing game after amazing game while those other companies only produce trash. This has resulted in Nintendo having a very strong and passionate core fan base, which unfortunately sometimes can get a little extreme and go after people for simply not liking Nintendo products or creating a game that's similar to a Nintendo game. And this is where we get to Palworld. Palworld is a monster collecting open world game that is very heavily inspired by obviously Pokemon, Ark Survival Evolved, Breath of the Wild, and has some like Factorio sprinkled in there. It's a very good creative game. However, some of the creatures in this game look a lot like Pokemon do. This is unacceptable to the Nintendo fanboy. Creatures that look like Pokemon, he says. I must cry, I must seethe, I must complain on the internet, I must send death threats, I must send death threats. I must protect Nintendo, I must call for this game to be taken off of every storefront and to be sued by Nintendo. I must send death threats, I will send death threats, etc. It's honestly pathetic. Now, I'm not saying Palworld is not deserving of any criticism. It very clearly takes a lot of inspiration from the games it's inspired by, like a lot, like maybe a little bit too much. And the same thing applies to the creature design. Like, a lot of the creatures are very unique and have very unique designs, right? But some of them are very similar to certain Pokemon. And you could call this lazy, you could criticize this, but the level that people go into with their well, it's not even criticism, it's just hate at this point. The level of people's hate against this game for having similar looking creatures to Pokemon is insane. And sometimes it's just the most far-reaching bullshit ever. Like this post right here.
That isn't even close to the worst example. The Wooloo clone is pretty blatant.
No, dude. It's a sheep. They both just look like... Has the guy never seen a sheep before? They both just look like sheep. The Pokemon one just looks like an actual regular sheep with just braids, while the Palworld one looks more like a monster. But it's not a clone. They're both just based on sheep, and therefore they look like a sheep. Are you dumb? Like, this is replying to a post that actually shows off how the face of this Palworld creature is the same as the face of this Meowth. So yeah, there's actually an argument there that actually looks like it has been copied, but this is not even remotely the same thing. Same with this one. This one is even worse.
I think everyone has the right to be mad at Palworld and dog on it purely for the white NASA knockoff. It's like a punch in the gut every time I see it.
They don't even remotely look the same. Their hair colors are different. Their eye shapes are different. Their eye colors are different. They're both wearing bikinis, but it's completely different bikinis. Right, they both got bracelets, but they're different bracelets. Besides that, there are no comparisons. I guess the hairstyle looks a little bit similar, but is not the same either. The only similarity here is that they're both very clearly like water-themed anime women. Besides that, there is no comparison between these two characters at all. So yeah, I don't really get it. Like, you can say it's lazy, right, for them to, you know, copy certain designs or certain parts of designs from Pokemon. I get that. It is very lazy. However, why do you care so much that you wish for this game to be taken down, that the developers must be sued by Nintendo, that you're gonna send fucking death threats to the developers and to the creators of the designs? Like, what does it matter to you that they copied some designs or some design aspects from Pokemon? Like, it literally doesn't matter at all. It's not like people are gonna actually confuse the real Pokemon with the Palworld creatures, or like that suddenly the real Pokemon are no longer going to exist because Palworld has like a creature in it that looks like Lyrock. Like, who gives a fuck? Why do you care this much? Just call it lazy and move on with your day, man. Holy shit. And then there are also people that claim or accuse the artists of Palworld to create these creatures using an AI and just by putting all of the Pokemon designs that have ever been created into the AI and to just generate fake Pokemons. This has been proven to be false. This is such a stupid fucking allegation based on literally nothing, simply just made because they know people are gonna be pissed about the fact that AI was used because people don't want AI in their video games, or, you know, helping create their video games, I mean. Then there's other people making even more ludicrous claims, saying that the Palworld team stole assets from Pokemon games in order to create their creatures. Also false, based on literally nothing, only made because they hate this game with such a passion for simply ripping off a couple designs from Pokemon. What an issue, man. How can you hate a video game this much that you go on the internet and lie about the creators of the game stealing shit from Nintendo or using AI just to get more people to hate the game? Go outside, my guy. Do something. I don't know. When was the last time you talked to like a human being that wasn't also behind a screen? Eh? When was the last time you talked to a woman? Now, this fully undeserved hatred towards Palworld unfortunately wasn't just reserved to dumb people on Twitter and glue-sniffing fanboys. Unfortunately, developers over at Naughty Dog, yes, that Naughty Dog, the very prestigious, well-known video game studio that makes exclusive games for Sony, were also complaining and shitting and hating on Palworld. Developers at Naughty Dog.
My gut is telling me Palworld was made nefariously. I have no proof, just dev intuition. No accusation until proof, but there is some hidden maleficence here, Watson. I can sense it. Making a game is just so difficult. They're cheating somehow. I just can't pinpoint how.
Yeah, guys, I'm not gonna accuse them of anything without any proof, but they definitely did something nefarious, but I don't know what yet. That's literally exactly what it means to accuse someone without proof. You're accusing them of doing something nefarious, but you don't know what yet. Fucking glue-sniffing cunt. I think I know why this is as well. I think this Naughty Dog developer is just so pissed because he thought that his game, right, Naughty Dog's game, The Last of Us 2 Remastered, which I don't know why the fuck you're remastering a game from 3 years ago, but whatever, that's definitely not a scam and a money grab. I genuinely believe that he expected that game to be like the biggest game of the first quarter of the year, right? Which is now Palworld. Palworld is the biggest game this quarter, and it completely overshadowed almost everything else that came out. I think he's just a little bit sad, a little bit jealous that his game didn't do as well, or isn't going to do as well because it's not out yet. Isn't going to do anywhere near as well as Palworld. So yeah, just has to be negative about it, hate on it. It's sad, dude. It's very, very sad. I think the saddest part of this is still people just sending death threats to the developers, or mainly to the artists of the Palworld creatures for no real reason. A lot of the Palworld creatures, I think they're just called pals actually, are very creative and very unique, right? Some of them do borrow from Pokemon, some of them are downright rip-offs from Pokemon, but it's not that big a deal. And sometimes, like with the fucking Wooloo, right, with the sheep Pokemon, it's not even a ripoff. They're just based off the same thing, a sheep. Have you ever seen a sheep? Cool, they both look like a sheep. Anyway, boys, tomorrow I've got another Palworld video for you, because guess what? PlayStation fanboys are also very angry about this game's existence for some reason. So if you want to see that, you know, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.